Hello and welcome to another edition of Addition. I'm your host, Addy Snowden. I'm a quantum life coach helping you jump into the reality of your dreams. As you know, you can always book with me at calendly.com/editionpod, calendly.com/editionpod. So, hello from Thailand, everyone. I made it to Thailand. If you follow me on my social media, you see we've been here for a couple months now. We moved here January 12th, and I'm just going to check. Jolene, can you hear me good on YouTube? Awesome. I have this excellent new microphone. It's really cool. Definitely something that I'm geeked out about. I got my AirPods that I got for Christmas from my wife, so I have my whole setup together. I'm on my pink MacBook. I got my iPhone 16 Pro. I don't know, but I invested in my technology. Okay. So I hope that is translating across the screen. I really missed you guys. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, today is very much like a check-in. So I encourage you guys to ask questions so I can answer them. I have some stuff to talk about probably the first half of the show, but if you have questions about moving to Thailand, leaving the US, leaving your job, like this is all about like taking risks and chances. So there you go. That's the title: taking risks. And risks are something, as a recovering perfectionist, I've always struggled with. I am really cautious. I used to be really risk averse, meaning like I was going through life trying to avoid as much risk as possible. And so something like moving to Thailand is incredibly risky. When I left my last job, I didn't immediately start applying for jobs. I looked at my financial situation. I was like, we can probably ride this out for a while, as long if we make some changes. So we can't, like, risk and reward are related. So the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. So I'm so grateful because 2 months into Thailand, I literally have no regrets. This was absolutely the right thing to do, for me, for my wife, for my family, for my heart, for my soul, for my spirit. So I'm so happy to be in Thailand. And again, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I will answer them on the podcast. So yeah, so let's talk about things that have come up since moving to Thailand. Like, it was definitely a rocky journey. We left, I feel like, at the perfect time. There was so much news about planes being canceled, plane crashes. We left Atlanta literally in the middle of a freak snowstorm, and there was so much resistance to us getting to Thailand, and that was really scary because we were just stuck at the airport for multiple days, and not even getting fresh air, and having to grapple with potentially like, what are we doing? Are we even going to make it to Thailand? And of course we did. So we got to Thailand. None of our bags were here. We had to live without suitcases. We had 9 bags between us, and it took about a week for us to get all of our suitcases. We moved here not knowing where we were going to live. We just had an Airbnb and a realtor who picked us up from the airport, which was the best thing that she could have done for us. But in terms of finding a place for us to live, that did not work out. So Jolene, fortunately, oh, pull my dress down. Thank you. Sorry. Sorry, TikTok. But yeah, so we ended up renting the home directly next door to our Airbnb. So everything just kind of worked out. So I feel like during that 1 week time where we didn't know where we were going to live, we didn't know where our bags were, there was a lot of space for people or thoughts, limiting beliefs to come up and be like, what are you guys doing in this crazy country? And, what were you thinking, and all of that stuff. And Jolene and I, we just are such a good team. We worked really well together and pushed through all of it. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the comments. Again, if you have questions about moving to Thailand, about life after Google, life after tech, like, drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. So yeah, so we got through that first week, and we got affirmed that we're in the right place. Like, the home that we live in is beautiful. Our neighborhood, we feel safe. We're walking distance to the beach. We spent, everything just worked out for the best. And we never would have known if we had just lived in our fear. Um, there, and taking a huge step like moving to Thailand, a country where we have no familial connections. We've only been once on our honeymoon, and we to a resort. Like we barely left the resort really, to now living here full time. There were so many unknowns, and I'm sharing this story to be like, it's gonna work out. Like whatever your dream is, like just try it, because there's not that much evidence of people actually following their dreams. And apologies, there's a motorcycle. You can probably hear that outside. I'm filming outside, which is literally my dream. But of course, there's outside noises that come with that. But yeah, there's not that much evidence of people following their dream and it not working out, because most people don't follow their dream. And that's like part of my mission here with Edition with Addy Snowden, is to get more people to encourage more people to follow their dreams, because the more people follow their dreams, the more evidence we have of people who are um, fulfilling their dreams, and then we won't be so scared to take them. But who knows, maybe that's by design. But that's my message here. Just follow your dreams and go for it. I will say, because this is Edition with Addy Snowden, you can't just stumble upon, you can't just like book a one-way ticket to Thailand with like $100 in your pocket and figure things out. I'm sure people do that, but I just want to be really realistic, because you may watch House Hunters and see people renting apartments for $500 or whole homes for like $700, and that absolutely does exist in Thailand. But you have to be really real with yourself about what you want your life to be like. We wanted to be comfortable. We wanted an upgrade. We were living in a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment in Atlanta, condo technically. It had a little balcony, a little community green area, and that was it. But I was very much wanting a single family home. I'm like, I'm too old. I'm too old to be living in apartments. Um, I want a single family home, and if we can't afford it in Thailand, like what are we doing? So definitely, like whatever you think life is going to cost like in Thailand, double it. Like do a lot of research. We used like AI, excuse me, we used AI chatbots to get like an estimate of how much things cost here, and I would say like we're probably saving about 2 grand in expenses compared to what we spent in America on our 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom life. And I will say, like our Thailand life, it's like we live in a home. It's 2 bedroom, 2.5 bath. We like we don't cook, so all of our meals are eating out. So it's not apples to apples. So we're getting way more for our money here, which was the whole point. We wanted to do that, but um, don't move to Thailand expecting to, spend like $100 a week, or like, it's just, you can do that. It's just going to be a downgrade maybe from like what you came from, as opposed to like, at Edition, we always want to upgrade. So anyway, so that's Thailand, just in terms of like cost of living. I can answer more like money questions. I see in the chat, someone has, oh, it's Auntie Judy. Hi, Auntie Judy. Thanks for watching. But yeah, so if your dream has always been to leave the US, to try something new, try spend some time in another country, I recommend go for it, because right now, like there's not much to lose. Like I have been paying attention to the US news and the job market and all of that, and it's like, if you've been laid off, if your job is like putting rules in that like you don't vibe with, like all of a sudden you've been comfortable working from home, and people now want you to come back to the office, like your workload doubles. Like you don't have to accept that. Like we are responsible for our life. And I learned a new word yesterday called agentic, which means having agency over your life, as opposed, so people who are like making decisions and walking forward on their life, as opposed to letting life happen to them. And it's really easy to do. Oops, I lost one of my AirPods in my hair, which is a tangled mess right now. Oh, there it is. Okay. But yeah, so having agency over your life, like a lot of people move through passively. And I think that a really good example is only applying to jobs. Like if when someone asks you, what are you doing for your career? Applying to jobs. Like that may seem like you are being agentic, like you have agency, but you're putting your whole future in the hands of a recruiter who may or may not be younger than you, the same age, like, and just waiting for them to say yes or no. Like that's incredibly passive. Whereas like an agentic person, they're gonna do more than just apply. They're gonna, um, try and find someone in their network who they know who works there, ask them to invite them to their next like open event, shake hands and kiss babies at every single, like if your goal is a job, like there's just an agentic way to do everything. And I think if we can reflect and realize that we're being more passive than we need to be, um and sometimes it's okay to be passive. Like right now I'm not making any major decisions. Made the decision to come back to the podcast today, even though I didn't plan exactly what I was going to say. Like I just wanted to like get the rest off of my content because I really do enjoy the show, and it is a great way for me to stay in touch with my audience, my friends, my family. But yeah, I'm currently in a passive state right now. Like I just need to relax and rewind. But in terms of, but now that I have like no one telling me what to do, like it's just Jolene, Oya, and I. Um, no job to answer to, no boss to answer to. I have to look in the mirror and be real with myself. Like how my days are because that's what I wanted. Jolene or I made a decision to make our days the way they are, and no, that's not happening to us. Like we are making those decisions, and those are the decisions that we are deciding to be agentic about. So if there's anything bigger, like wanting to continue my podcast or wanting to start a new business or anything else, like that is like my responsibility to make the effort and charge forward in that area. And it's okay if like you're not there at that point in time, because I'm not necessarily there right now, but it's just something to be mindful of, because it's easy to fall into that trap of just letting life happen to you. Okay, so yeah, so face your fears, like follow your dreams, be agentic, like take action towards whatever your dreams are. That's the messages right now. Jolene in the chat says it does in fact cost more than $2,000 a month. Very much so, yes. So again, I'm taking questions about Thailand. I'm taking questions about life. I'm taking questions about post Google. If you have any questions, please drop them into the chat. I know it's been a while, but yeah. So since that's my little update. Like if we're in Thailand, it's cool, it's beautiful, as you can see in the background. This is awesome. And I'm gonna move to the career segment, which is 15 commitments. So we're gonna continue with that. So just give me a minute to pull up the 15 commitments of conscious leadership. I'm like, Google Drive, why does it take you so long? So yeah. Again, if you have questions about Thailand, etc., drop them in the chat so I can answer them. All right. So what was the last commitment that we did last week or last episode? Let me just pull that up. Got to trust my notes. Got to trust my notes. Okay. I'm like, did I do a 15 commitment last week? I'm not sure, honestly, or last episode. If I did, I didn't put it in the chat, but I'm going to talk about one that I may be skipping one, but it's something that's been on my mind. So I'm going to talk about it's commitment. Which one is it? Oh my gosh. Okay, it's commitment 10, exploring the opposite. I commit to seeing that the opposite of my story is as true or truer than my original story. I recognize that I interpret the world around me and give my stories meaning. Okay, so we did get a couple of questions. So Jolene asked, what has given you the most culture shock in Thailand? Okay, so before I get into the 15 commitments, I'll go ahead and answer that question. So, ladies, gentlemen, if you're into grooming, you may get waxed. And I had a culture shock last night where I realized the waxer had the wax in a coffee can and had like a Le Creuset type boiling pot, and I was boiling water in her Le Creuset pot, like just boiling, like just rapid, rigorous boil, and would just drop the coffee can full of wax into the boiling pot. And then that's how she melted the wax down. That was shocking for me. She would literally pull the coffee can out of the boiling water and then set it on the 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 table, the surface that she's waxing on. Like, that was crazy culture shock. There's also a ton of strays here. Like a lot of, and strays sounds negative. Like, there's just a lot of free animals here. So there's all sorts of dogs, cats, just all over the neighborhood. They go into the convenience store, they hang out with the customers who are sitting at the restaurants. Like, they're very engaged animals. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see that I posted some of the storks that are just like literally just right there in our neighborhood. There's a gigantic stork, like, which is really cool. So those are the biggest culture shocks for me. So thanks for the question, Jolene. Again, keep all the questions coming. Happy to continue chatting. So I want to talk about commitment 10 on the 15 commitments of conscious leadership, which is exploring the opposite. I commit to seeing that the opposite of my story is as true or truer than my original story. I recognize that I interpret the world around me and give my stories meaning. So I feel like people, like, especially in this world right now where we're debating different things, like whether it's like politics, ideology, um, lifestyle choices, whatever. I feel like most people know how to see, they put themselves in the other person's shoes and, like, to consider whether they're wrong, um, and see how the other person could be right in a conversation. I notice most people don't necessarily have a problem with that. If they don't do it, it's intentional because they just don't want to. But sometimes we've been told that we're wrong. We'll hear the horn. Obviously, that's a good message that's about to come out. So sometimes we've been told that we're wrong, and we need to believe the opposite is also true of us being right. I think a lot of people go through life, especially people who are talented, educated, shine bright, beautiful, nice people, good, generous people. Like, people can be really, really jealous and say a whole bunch of negative things about them and get them to believe negative things about themselves, especially like if they're in a position of power, like a manager or a parent or an auntie or an uncle, whatever it is. Like, people are really mean and hateful towards good people. And I guess I will talk about this myself. Like, I I had a conversation with Jolene yesterday where, right, something that we're doing is just doing more castings for reality shows, which is going really well. We need to create our own, honestly. And I was like, okay, there's a show that we love. And I was like, well, I wouldn't want to play as myself because I'm unlikable. And Jolene really, like, had to stop me for a second and was like, what do you mean you're unlikable? And it's like, I had internalized the idea that I was unlikable based on certain situations. Who's inviting me to co-host? Decline. So yeah, but like, based on, especially like people who work at like corporations, especially during times where they're trying to get laid off or trying to lay people off, it's like, your managers or your team may like say really bad things about you or make you feel like you're not doing well. Like, I'll speak for myself. Like, this has happened to me in the past. And or like family. Like if you guys follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, like you can see I'm not like going through it with my family, but definitely had to create some distance from my family because they were not being supportive of me and trying to make me feel like I'm a bad person when I know I'm not. But I just thought that like the way I show up, people just don't like me, and because I just get so many haters. And I had to, and Jolene kind of like tapped me into it by like being like, no, you are incredibly likable, duh. Um, and it's like I needed to believe the opposite was true. So think about like all the negative things that like your manager says about you, that your family says about you, that your siblings say about you. And honestly, that you say to yourself. Like I can have a negative talk track in my head. Like it's not always positive every single time. I'm working on it. Like that's one of the big things that I'm working on while I'm here is like having more self-love, self-compassion. But yeah, they could be wrong, and it's like we don't talk about that enough. We really don't. And something that I learned about this was in art class. So in college, I like late, I would say midway through college, I pivoted into like a studio art minor. And in art classes, they do critiques. And it's like you'll have a project, and when it's due, we'll go around the room as a group in a circle to everyone's art piece and critique it. And that in that moment I knew like whatever the professor thought about my art like didn't matter because my professor was an art professor and not an artist. Like, it's like you have to think about who you're even taking this feedback from. Like if they're are they living their truth? Are they living their dream? And I noticed like the and shout out to Zenobia Taludi. We're still connected on LinkedIn. She was my architecture professor. I took her twice, and I also worked for her for a little bit. Um, Art professors who actually have things going on in their life are incredibly supportive of everything that their students produce. It's the art professors who are not living their dream and not maximizing their potential who are the haters, who are critiquing people about the work that they do. And um, I've always been an artist. I've talked to you guys about this. This should not be a surprise. I'm an artist. And one thing that I realized is that I did get, while I didn't have the best professors, like I did get really good artist training in terms of like the practice of being an artist, the practice of being a creative, owning being a creative. And I'm learning that so many people get pushed away from being an artist and being a creative because of some teacher being mean to them. And it's like, especially if this is like in grade school and not in college level, like an art teacher, and this is like no shade to art teacher, like that's someone who is not pursuing being an artist full time, because how can you possibly be an artist full time if you're teaching students? Like you just can't. So anyone who gives you feedback on your art, like you need to take a really hard second guess. And another way this comes up is like singing. Like people be like, oh, you can't sing, or like she's got a good voice, you don't have a good voice. Like who is this person saying that you can or can't sing? Like, can we hear them belt out a few tunes? Because an actual singer, like, so I will say I am a trained singer. You may not think I have the best voice, and you know what? I'm not training myself to have the perfect voice right now, but I am a trained singer. I've been singing since I was probably 7 years old in choir, know how to read music, all of that stuff. Anyone who is an actual singer will tell you that anyone can learn how to sing. I mean, it's Sound of Music. It do re mi fa sol la ti do. It's not that hard. It's really not. You just got to train your ear to match the pitch. Is everyone going to sound like Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston? No, but most people don't, and that's why they are Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. But most singers that we listen to are not like, don't sing like that. It's all about, there's amazing backup singers. Like I've been watching Tiny Desk, and the backup singers that are complete no names that we hear, like they don't have to be that extra. They just have a voice and a rhythm and a song. But anyway, so I say all that to say, like, if you're getting negativity, if people are telling you negative things about yourself, like you need to commit to believing the opposite may be true. Like, those people could be right, but they could also be wrong. And we don't, and it ties into another commitment about external validation. Like, not everyone, we can't get our validation externally. Like, we can't think that we're a good person because the 5 people around us say we're a good person. We have to know internally that we're a good person. Okay. All right. So, any other questions? That was the career segment. And I'm gonna get into what I'm geeked out about this week. Which, okay, so I am truly geeked out about this. So I will proceed with it. So, what I'm geeked out about this week is no makeup. And this may be really shocking for people because, as you know, I'm a makeup girly, and I do love and enjoy makeup. I'm just like in a very different climate right now. Like, if you're on TikTok, you can see it's like my skin's dewy. Like, I can't do the 20-step makeup routine in Thailand. Like, I'm using an excellent technique, which is red lip theory, which is like, if you do a red lip, everything else in your face is going to look smooth. And I will say, in Thailand, my skin is fabulous. Like, I'm just going to zoom in on the camera real quick. Like, my skin is awesome. I put a little brow on. I used my Refi brow gel, and I used my Rare Beauty brow pencil. I'm using Sephora lip liner, and I'm using Gwen Stefani lipstick. But and that's it. Like, I did tight line my eyes, but I can't wear too much eye makeup here because my eyes get really irritated. We live on an island. There's sand there, and there's sand in the air. Okay, so if I wear my contacts too much, like I am doing, I'm wearing them right now for the recording, but I typically don't. I don't want to put anything near my eyes because my eyes get irritated. So I'm forced to embrace this no makeup, and I'm loving it. And for anyone who's like, "Oh, Addy, like, you were pushing makeup and now you're not wearing makeup." Um, if I was in a corporate setting, like, I would still be wearing makeup. Like, let's be so for real. Like, if I'm in a climate controlled setting, like, I'm still going to be wearing a full face of makeup. You see where I am. You see where I am. I'm not wearing makeup because I don't have to. I'm chilling. I'm chilling in my backyard. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave a couple. I'm gonna do a countdown, maybe like 30 seconds if anyone has any questions. Thanks for being in the live. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. I see you guys watching from Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, which is awesome. And also TikTok is always here. I appreciate all the love, all the support, all the content, or all the engagement, all the comments specifically. So I'm going to be back. So this is my time, Tuesday mornings around 9-ish. That's when I'm going to be online. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Oh, wait. What's your biggest piece of advice for people who are afraid? Thanks, Jolene, asking on the chat. Biggest piece of move through the fear. Move through the fear. So this is something that comes up with Jolene and I, because it's like she can tell that I'm scared on my face, and because she knows me, right? So she knows when I'm scared and I'm moving through the fear, and I'm like, don't worry, like, I know I look scared, but I'm moving through the fear. And it's just like, when you're scared of something, you just gotta, that's in your head. It's like, just with your feet, with your hands, whatever you're doing, you just got to just move through the fear. You can't wait for you to not be scared anymore. That's not how it works. Like, you can't wait to not be scared, because that's never going to happen. You got to do it despite being scared. That's how you move through fear. Okay. Excellent question. So the next question is, what is your biggest positive surprise in Thailand? Oh my gosh. So many. First of all, this wall. Like, I love this wall. Like, I can't believe that this is on our property. I saw it and I immediately was like, this is where I'm gonna film my live streams. What's my biggest positive surprise? Okay, just the natural beauty of our specific neighborhood. Like, we were at a resort, so when we came the first time. So I didn't know like where we would live would be this beautiful, but it absolutely is gorgeous. And then one negative surprise in Thailand. Oh my gosh. Probably everything involved with banking. And we need to just go ahead and get our Thai bank accounts, because dealing with international, like, I feel like, those people who majored in international business or like international banking and stuff like that, like, props to you, because going through this, like, just going through the motions of doing it with no training or experience, like, I consider myself financially educated, but navigating my bank, my debit card, my savings accounts, and like needing to still have my US number because of two-factor authentication, like, that's like, all of that is negative. Two-factor authentication is great when you live in the country. Once you leave the country, like, I don't recommend two-factor authentication. Okay, any other questions? Thank you, Jay Snow, as usual, for all the questions. If you're on TikTok, go follow her. If you're on my other platforms, go follow _ JAYY Snow. Okay. So I was just taking questions. Hey, Perfectly Blue, I'm about to shut down unless you have a question. No pressure. So that's the episode. That's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for spending time with me. It is 9:53 a.m. in Thailand. I don't know what time it is where you guys are, but thank you for joining me. All right. Well, I love you guys. I will be back next week. I'm back on a weekly cadence, and it's going to be what the show's going to be. What's going to be. It's just going to be what I feel about talking about that day. What? Oh, yeah. If you miss the lives, you can always follow me on YouTube. Edition with Addy Snowden on YouTube, Twitch, at Edition with Addy, Instagram, at Edition with Addy, Threads, at Edition with Addy, Twitter, at Edition Pod. What are my other platforms? I'm on Lemonade, at Edition with Addy. I'm literally everywhere. Okay, so Perfectly Blue asks, what are you looking forward to most being in Asia? Looking forward to, okay, so it's been 2 months in Asia. So there's a lot of stuff that I was looking forward to that I've already done. But so I want to see more of Asia, which is talk about fear, terrified. But I just talked with Jillian last night, and I was like, I want to go to Singapore for my birthday. So I want to explore other Asian countries. Like, we haven't even been off of the island in Phuket. Like, our whole experience in Asia has been the Bangkok airport one time and Phuket Island. So we're gonna be in Bangkok April. Jillian found an excellent concert festival for us to go to. It's like a 4-day music festival. So I'm looking forward to going to Bangkok. But yeah, Asia is different, y'all. And also, being a Black woman in Asia, it's like you're automatically a celebrity, which is fine. I'm used to that. But it's a foreign world over here, but I love it. It's our world. I tell Jolene all the time, I'm like, we're Thai now. We're Thai now. We're Asian because we know Thai food. So yeah. So that's what I'm excited to. Thanks for the question. But yeah, like I said, I'll be back next week. So it's like 4 minutes till 10 a.m. So I'm going to give you guys 4 more minutes to ask questions. This is the time. We got 4 minutes to ask any questions about Thailand. Oh my gosh, people keep wanting to co-host the live. So I will say something else that's been really cool is I have this app that like tells you what plants and animals you're looking at. So like this whole garden, like I've looked up the meanings of the plants and like what they symbolize. Like, these plants are called tea plants, and you'll see them everywhere. And I'm pretty sure they're in the US too. And favorite Thai cuisine now? Oh my gosh. Okay. Excellent question. Thank you for asking me about food. Speaking of which, the next thing I was going to show, like, this is a fig. Believe this or not, this is fig. And it looks like a creeping vine. It's crazy. So favorite Thai cuisine. Okay, so first of all, I came to Thailand and I am the Thai food expert. Like, I used to work at a restaurant called Tin Drum Asia Cafe, and that was everything I needed to know about Thai food. So when I got here, I was really on the tom yum seafood. Tom yum is like a really spicy soup and they have all sorts of seafood in it. They have uh, mussels, squid, which was my favorite food for a few weeks. Like, I hadn't eaten so much squid before. So the tom yum seafood, it's delicious. There's shrimp, of course, but shrimp is like basic now because it's like shrimp is something that I was eating all the time in the US and don't get it as much here. But my current fave is the Pad Kee Mao, which is holy basil stir fry. And I looked into it, and I get it with chicken. Pad Kee Mao chicken. And you may see it as holy basil with chicken. And the reason why I like the dish, first of all, it's bussin'. Everywhere you go, it is bussin'. Like, the flavor is packed. Also, when I used to cook, which I haven't cooked in years, thank God, I used to make this basically. I didn't know that I was making it, and I don't know if I think I may have been using cilantro instead of basil, but I was making the one when I cooked for my wife, I made that ground chicken, didn't I? I didn't make ground chicken. What was it? Ground. But there was chicken. There was a ground meat in there. Yeah. Okay. Ground turkey. Yes. Okay. Thanks, boo. But yeah, but holy basil, like the Thai basil, if you look into like the herbology and the medicineology of it, I made that word up, but like, they call it holy basil for a reason. And like, I just have a completely different relationship with like plants, herbs, and spices here because everything is medicinal and everything is healing. And I feel like I needed to eat that holy basil for a whole week. It just felt good. It felt amazing. I'm now, I don't know what my new fave is, but try that Pad Kee Mao. Try that Pad Kee Mao. Okay. Oh my God, I still have a minute and 15 seconds. If anyone wants to slip any last minute questions in. I used to work at a Thai restaurant too. I'm obsessed with Pad Thai. Yes. Pad Thai is so good. And I feel like in America, I used to eat Pad Thai multiple times a week. Here, I don't eat it as much. And I don't know why, because sometimes it's absolutely delicious. I think because it's the consistency. So that's something about the restaurants here. It's like everyone will do their curries different. Everyone will do their noodle stir fry different. Like, some people will do excellent Pad Thai, some people won't, so it's like, that's why I don't get Pad Thai as much. But there is, if you do come to Thailand, I'll tell you a place that has excellent Pad Thai. So yeah, I think we can go ahead and call it. I really appreciate you guys being such an engaged audience. I even had I have an IRL audience right here down. Jolene's down there. And also our landlady is like our biggest fan. Whenever I come and perform somewhere, or like, so I'll play the guitar outside, and I guess she saw the setup and she was sitting right here. I swear to God, right here, waiting for the show. Oh my gosh. She said, Blue asked, what do you think about the Pad Kee Mao? Girl, I haven't gotten there yet. That looks like something I would be scared to try on the menu, to be completely honest with you. But because I'm going to try it and report back, because like I said, we eat out every meal. I'm going to find some Pad Kee Mao and I will let you know what I think. But so cool. He used to work at a Thai restaurant. What a small world. Please, more. Oh, it's drunken noodles. Girl, I am not a noodle girl. I will honestly tell you that. I do love Pad See Ew, but again, not everyone does it well. So I'm not always down for the noodle dishes. And I think it's because I'm African and I just love rice. I'm gonna pick rice every time over noodles, but there are excellent noodles in this world. I hesitate as much. But now you inspire me. I'm going to try something new, especially to like live in your dream reality, to quantum jump. You have to try new things. So thanks, Perfectly Blue. I will let you know what I think about the Pad Kee Mao. Sounds like it may be Chinese influenced. I'm not sure. But all right. Well, thanks so much for watching. And wow, talk about breaking so many barriers. Oh, thanks, Jolene. My skin looks amazing. Thank you. To come on live with no makeup on, to like film outside, to not have a plan for the episode. These are all things that I'm doing to move through my fear. Thanks. Have a good day too, Perfect Blue. I'm glad you were able to stop by and say hey as well. I'll be back next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Well, I will see you next time. I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Bye.